Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a power review, season 5, episode 8, a friend of the family. Don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. If not, welcome back. I'm Danny. Now I'm going to try not to make this video really long. I know they say this every video, and every video it ends up being like 40 minutes. I don't even realize I'm talking that much until I turn off the camera and I'm getting ready to edit. But I'm just only going to touch on the key points because nothing really happened in this video. Well, nothing really happened in this episode. It just was like conclusion to a bunch of build-ups that we already saw like in the beginning of the season. So this review should not be that long. So we start out with Tommy, Ghost, and Kanan at Tommy's house, and they discussing Diego being killed and all that stuff. And Tommy don't believe it. He was like, well, how do I know that I can believe y'all that y'all already did it? And Kanan was like, well, I got the head if you want it. He just said it so casually, like he just cut off people's heads every day. That's how he said it. And then both of them was just looking crazy. And then Ghost told Tommy to text Jason that Diego's dead, and something else supposed to be happening. That Diego's dead and they need time for something else. I can't remember what it was. This is all just going off my dome. But yeah, so he ended up texting Jason, and Jason responds back, and Ghost was like, he responded like, because Ghost expected Dre to kill Jason because that was the whole plan, but Kanan ended up warning him, so Jason's not dead. So Ghost was surprised that Jason actually answered back and told him that they bought a little more time since Diego's gone. Ghost ended up telling Kanan to leave, that he need to talk to Tommy, and Kanan like, why you always kicking me out? But he ended up leaving anyways because he got a text from Tariq trying to meet up or whatever, so he ended up just leaving. He wasn't even like fighting or arguing with Ghost. And then Tommy got mad because he was like, why y'all doing stuff behind my back? This is my operation. Y'all supposed to let me in on stuff. And Tommy just feel like they just went behind his back and doing stuff. But Ghost was trying to eliminate the problem because Jason is still on him about stuff. But if Jason would have been dead, then all this, majority of this would have been eliminated. So, but Tommy, he ain't with that. He's mad because Ghost keep trying to take over his organization. Well, not really take over, but do stuff without telling him first, and he want to be in the loop for all the stuff. So Tommy mad for that. And then we get Ghost. Now he goes over to home, I guess, and then Angela was there, and he was up there talking about how he wanted to turn himself in for the murder. And Tasha was like, no, we need to find somebody to pin it on. And he's still wanting to pin it on Dre, and Tasha keeps wanting to pin it on Kanan. And then he's like, no, I'm going to turn myself in. And when he said that, Angela started grilling him with questions like, how did you know Raymond Jones? How do you know where Raymond Jones is going to be at? How do you know Raymond Jones kills your daughter? And she was just asking him questions like the real police would do. And Ghost was like, hold on, slow down. Let me think about it. You can't let me think about it while you in the interrogation room. You have to come up with an answer quick, or they're going to know you lying, that you're trying to make up some stuff. And then you ain't going to be able to memorize your lies, what you already done told him. And she was like, no, you can't do that because you're going to make everything like messed up or whatever. So you can't do that. And then you're gonna incriminate a whole bunch of other people, and you ain't even got your story straight, so they're gonna find loopholes in it, and they already after you anyway, so you need to just stop. So he agreed that they need to find somebody to pin it on, and he's still with this Dre thing. And Tasha was like, no, it's Kanan. She ended up putting the gun back in the safe, and he saw her like putting the gun in the safe or whatever. And after he leave from there, he go over to confront Dre about not killing Jason, and he was like, what are you doing? Like, why is Jason still alive? He was like, well, I went in there and nobody was in there. It's like somebody warned him, so you need to check some people in your organization. And he was like, for the record, I don't owe you anything, Ghost. And he was telling him how Alicia needs him more now that Diego's gone. And basically what Dre telling him, he not about to kill Jason, even though Ghost had Diego killed. He was like, you didn't even kill Diego. You had Kanan do it. Because what we see before this, Dre was talking to Two-Bit and Spanky, asking them like what went on and stuff. And they was like, well, Ghost didn't kill Diego. Kanan did. And they were like, why you ain't kill Kanan? And he was like, because you ain't tell us to do that. You told us to do what you say do. And I'm like, now y'all want to listen? You just scared to kill Kanan. But he's like, yes. And then he was like, okay, yeah, y'all right. He was like, well, if you see them again, take them out if you have a hit. If you have a clear shot, just take them out. So Two-Bit and Spanky, they agree, but you know Two-Bit and Spanky trying to work with Kanan, so I don't really think they gonna do that. But And Ghost was so mad that after he met with Dre, that he went and met with Tate, telling Tate he need to stay away from Dre. He was telling Tate that the reason he fired Dre was because when he was in jail for something he didn't do, Dre was running drugs through his club. And he told him, if you need to stay on the straight and narrow and you want to be with me on the winning team, you need to cut Dre off. Because with Ghost, he could take him to the top. I'm like, how you going to take this man to the top? He said, with Dre, he going to have you down in the bottom and you're going to be in a whole bunch of mess. And I don't really think Tate agreed to let Dre go. But he probably already know what Dre do anyway. But I don't remember him agreeing. But he just was like, okay, whatever, James. And then we get Tommy meeting with his daddy and Connie for dinner. They was at Tommy's house. They didn't look like Tommy. Is this Tommy like other house? Because I don't remember Tommy's house being like this. He looked like he lived in like some warehouse type of studio thing. I don't know. Tommy looked like he got like 3 houses on this show. Because the last house he was just with Ghost and Tommy, he looked like he was in like a penthouse suite. And then like when he first met his daddy in Ghost's room, when Ghost came over, he was trying to discuss business. It looked like it was some kind of warehouse. And then now this is like a whole another house. But Keisha was in the kitchen cooking. It was like, oh, I ain't know you hired a cook, Connie. Connie said that, little racist ass. Cause he was like, no, she's not the cook. She's my girlfriend. It was like, oh. They wasn't expecting her. I'm like, with a name like Keisha, what was y'all expecting? A white girl? No, because he told him her name was Keisha. But anyway, they sat down. They was having dinner or whatever, and Connie was like, they was just talking all small talk or whatever. And then Tommy thanked Connie for giving him the idea for the MLab business. And they was him and Teresi was just looking around like, don't talk like business like this in front of her. But he was like, oh no, it's cool. She know everything. She know about everything. He was like, oh, so you trust her? That's what Teresi was saying. And he was like, yeah. And then Connie was like, well, let's see how long you trust her when they have her locked up in the box. And she have to be down for you or not. And I'm like, well, that is true. Because we already know Keisha ain't built for this life. But Tommy said, oh, we've been through a lot of stuff. So we know, like, about each other and trust and all this stuff. They were just trying to, like, sugarcoat or whatever. But it seemed like after they talked about that, it seemed like everything was fine. So they end up leaving and going back to Keisha's house, and it was some man knocking on the door, and Tom was like, who is this? She was like, I don't know. Then he answered the door. He was like, Keisha somebody. And she was like, yeah, what? He was like, you've been served. It was and Tommy tried to like get him. That man was running like I don't know, like he was just in the damn track meet running 100. Usain Bolt run out of there. But yeah, it was a subpoena. I was like, did Teresi actually went and told about Keisha being his girlfriend, and then now all of a sudden she got a subpoena? Because every time Teresi like go back and sneak some information with them, something new pop up. Like this is so like calculated time, and like I don't know. But that was really, really weird to me. Then we get Tasha back at the house. She's with Angela trying to plot on Kanan, and Tariq comes over. And they was asking Tariq about Raymond Jones and how he know him. And then he said about Jukebox, and they asked, was Jukebox dead? He was like, yeah, Kanan killed her. And then and they was asking about Sean. She was like, yeah, Kanan killed Sean too. And then Tariq was like, got all mad, like, why y'all asking me all these questions about Kanan? Y'all trying to pin him up again? Y'all trying to frame him again like y'all did in the past, Mom? And she was like, well, we're trying to protect you, Tariq. And you it's either Kanan or me. You want your mother to go to jail? And he was just talking all slick and cussing her out. And I'm like, Tasha, you ain't no real black mama. Because Tariq would have got knocked the fuck out. He wouldn't have had no teeth in his mouth. Like Tasha, all this crap Tariq been talking to her throughout the past couple of seasons, she has not done anything. Ghost hasn't either. He like tried to attack him when he was drunk or whatever. But it just let Tariq get away with murder and do like anything. He literally is getting away with murder right now. But it's just crazy. And then he started going off for Angela, but like, you believe her? She the one who ruined our family. She the one who broke everybody else up. And you run here all buddy with her like, oh, this is cute. She was like, well, she's going to help us get up out of this mess. And I'm like, well, Tariq does have a point. Angela is like, broke up all y'all. She really did broke up all y'all family dynamic, caused a lot of turmoil. But this belongs to your daddy too, Tariq. Don't just blame it all on Angela, even though he do blame Ghost. And before he left, Tasha ended up telling him he gonna either choose her or Kanan. And he was just like, find another way. Then back at the lawyer office thing, I don't even know what to call it. They discussing Angela about how they're going to bring her down, how they think she's connected to the organization. And then we see Mop going there asking Angela about his recommendation in DC. And she was like, well, do you have any information for me? And he was like, well, Sachs got a snitch, but I don't really know who he is. Because she asked him who is it, he was like, I don't know who it is. He kept on blaming everything on Sachs, trying to make it seem like he's not in on it. But Angela was like, well, if you give me more information, we'll see how this goes with the recommendation. He seemed like he really do want to get this position, but it kind of seemed like he playing her too. So I don't really know, but I really do think deep down he really want this position. But he's on the fence of how much information to give Angela, because he is giving her a little bit of information, but he's not giving her the important stuff, like Teresi's name. Because if he gets Teresi's name and tell Angela, Angela's going to go back and tell Ghost, and Ghost is going to tell Tommy. And then it's going to be a whole thing that's going to trickle down. And then it was either Sachs or Mox, I can't remember who it was. They was talking to Proctor about Charlie Murphy murder. And he was like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. He was like, your client not involved? And he was like, no, like, you just can't just randomly make my client involved when there's no cameras, no nothing. Then it was like, we have a witness. And when he said that, Proctor was just like sitting there. And he was like, well, if you have any proof or anything, then come back. So he ended up leaving and he go to see James. And he was asking him about the Charlie Murphy murder and all that stuff, and Ghost was trying to play like he know what was going on. And then Proctor ended up telling him that it was a witness. And then Ghost wheels started spinning. And then he's looking like he can't trust Proctor. I don't know, but y'all keep calling Proctor for everything, but y'all don't want to give him no information. He was telling Ghost that James, you need to protect yourself in this. If it is a witness, you need to make sure that they ain't finna get stuff out. Basically what he was saying. But Ghost didn't give in that if it was a witness or not, or if he actually did it or not. So I don't know. But he ended up leaving, and when he left, he went to go see his cousin Vinny, and he was getting the laptop. Remember the laptop he hid in like a couple of seasons ago when Tommy killed that Homeland Security guy in his apartment when Tommy was confessing to killing Lobos and all them. But he went and got his laptop back from his cousin. His cousin was like, well, do you think you could trust them? He was like, no, they all for themselves. I didn't even want to work with them. But it kind of strong-armed me into working for them because of the ex-wife coke addiction. And I'm like, this is crazy. But I don't remember them strong-arming them. I don't even remember how they met Proctor. But he ended up getting the laptop back. He was like, yeah, this is for insurance. I'm like, why you just didn't keep it in the locker where it was at? Like, what are you going to do? Because if they find this laptop that you got this recording on, Proctor, you're going to be smoking with the fishes like everybody else, with Lobos and all them. So we got Keisha and Tasha. Now, Keisha, she's showing Tasha the subpoena or whatever. And Tasha was like, this ain't a subpoena for her something. It was for something else. I can't remember what it was for. And then she was like, well, Tasha, lying to the police is one thing, but lying to a grand jury where I can go to jail is another thing. Yeah, I'm like, Keisha, girl, don't you be up here committing perjury for them. They ain't going to commit perjury for you. They don't even tell you all the stuff that's going on because they know you are the weak link. Then her and Tasha got into it. She was like, Tasha, when the last, I see your ass all the time. When the last time you saw my baby? She said the baby name, but I don't remember who it was. I don't even remember Keisha having a child. Have we ever seen Keisha's child? I've never heard them mention a child ever, and I've been watching this show since it first aired. And her and Tasha was like, yeah, you right or whatever. So her and Tasha, they like, I guess kind of made up again. But what I forgot to mention, when her and Tommy was back at the apartment when she first got the subpoena, she was telling him about how she didn't want to do all this and asking him if this the only reason that he came back. And he was like, no, he came back because he actually loved her and cared about her. And he was telling her, once this is all over, he's not going to be dealing with Tasha or Ghost anymore. And I'm like, are you really? You say this every season, but y'all end up right back together. You still drinking Teresi's Kool-Aid, just like Ghost told him. You drinking Teresi's Kool-Aid. And then we get the scene with Tommy. He's waiting for Ghost because him and Ghost was supposed to be meeting up to plant the evidence on Dre, and like to kill Dre or whatever. And Ghost not answering his phone. The reason not answering his phone because he's arguing with Tasha. Because Tasha gun is not in the safe. And then he was like, well, what you did with the gun? What you did with the gun, Tasha? And she was like, it's all part of the plan. And earlier in the episode, we see Tariq when Kanan left from with Ghost and Tommy at the beginning of the episode, we seen Tariq. Kanan trying to teach him the dope game or whatever, trying to go through all the strategies and all this stuff, and was telling him how he gonna get 11,000 and Tariq was only gonna get 4,000. Tariq was like, well, how's that for? He was like, well, it's like a chain of command or whatever. So he was trying to tell Tariq about all this and all that. And he was asking Tariq about where he was in school. He was like, economics, Italian, philosophy, and all. He's like, okay, just what I thought. None of the stuff that I can use. And they end up leaving. They're going to see Vincent, the Italian man. And they was in there. Kanan was trying to be his new connect and all that stuff. And Vincent was really on board with it. And then the man asked Vincent in Italian, do you think we could trust him? And Tariq answered back in Italian. And he was like, oh, I see why you brought the kid. I'm like, Tariq, you speak Italian? You really been paying attention in school, huh? And I said, Kanan was smart with that. But him and Kanan ended up like doing what they had to do or whatever. So when they left there, they went to the block. And he gave Tariq some drugs or whatever and told him don't come back until it's all sold. And it seemed like it was about 5 minutes later, Tariq was back. He was like, I told you don't come back until it was all sold. And Tariq gave him the money. I was like, damn, Tariq, you sold it that quick? When Kanan looked through the money, he was like, man, this is a fake 20. And he was I thought he wouldn't get mad, but he didn't get mad. He was just like, okay, you got to learn about like the frauds and all this stuff on the street, but you're a smart dude, you'll get with it. So they were just driving around a little bit, and they hit like a block or whatever. And then Tariq was like, hold up, that's the dude right there. So he spotted the dude that scammed him basically, and he told Kanan to hit the block and get him the gun. So he hit the block, he gave him the gun, he pulled out the gun, and the man he said, give me all my shit back. And the man just dropped everything and he ran. And they got back in the car and they were laughing and stuff. And Kanan was just hard down laugh. He was like, well, you messed up, but you fixed it. You got the stuff back, so that's good, that's good. So later on that night, they still was in the car together, just driving down the road. Then the police headlight came on. I was like, oh, Lord, is this racial profiling? Because you know Kanan he does have a Mercedes. I'm like, it's the trunk riding low? Because you remember last time when they went to see the man at the gated community, the trunk was riding low. But no, he was like, license and registration. He gave him the license and registration. He's like, keep your hands on, we can see him or whatever. Then he was like, well, can I check the trunk? And I'm like, this random. I would have told the bitch, no, get the warrant. But Kanan was like, yeah, I don't have nothing to hide. And I'm like, so y'all got rid of the drugs and stuff that quick? But it was late on the night. So they popped the trunk. The gun is like right there. I say, who would just randomly have a gun right there in the trunk? So you know what's a setup. So they told them step outside the vehicle, and they like putting their hands up on the car, patting them down. And then he was like, I got a missing person kidnap called in. And then Kanan was like, that's not true, tell him, Reek. And Tariq was just standing there. I'm like, Tariq, what's going on? You gonna really tell them? So the man was like, Tariq, is this true? And he was like, no, this is my friend Sean's father. I thought I would be safe. I say, Tariq showing how to turn on this prep school junk he be going through, different from his criminal stuff. So so they started arresting Kanan, and they put Tariq back in like the police car. And when Kanan was getting the handcuffs put on him, he started just shooting, taking out officers. Like they were just dropping like flies. I'm like, it's like 10 of y'all, cause they call for backup and stuff too. You know how they do. They call for backup for like a little, you can tell like out, they call for them backup. But yeah, he was just shooting everybody, and then he was walking up and he shot like the last police, and then somebody shot him. And I'm like, oh, is he gonna die? And then he walked up, and it was the police still on the ground. He shot the police, and he looked over at Tariq. I thought he was gonna shoot Tariq because Tariq was scared. He was locked inside the car, and he didn't shoot Tariq. He just looked at Tariq, and he went and got in the car to try to get away. And he just like crashed to the ditch, and he was just like slumped over. And I'm like, is he really dead? Because Kanan had like 9 lives. So we went back to like the morgue or whatever, and he was like laying on the bed. I'm like, they pulled the sheet back because Tommy was there, and Ghost came up there, and Tommy was like, you just gonna take everybody out in my crew? He was like, I didn't do this, Tasha did this. Tasha and Tariq, he's like, oh, so you just gonna bring your wife and kids? So Tommy don't believe Ghost, because Ghost done down all type of crazy stuff. But they were pulling the sheet back, and I'm like, is this gonna be somebody else? But it actually was Kanan. And I'm like, is he gonna open his eyes? I still had like hope that he wasn't dead, because they keep like, I don't know, Kanan just keeps surviving all kind of crazy stuff. But he actually really was dead. And I was shocked. So police end up questioning them and the whole family. And Tariq was putting on, talking about how he was kidnapped. They was crying, talking about how Kanan stole the gun. He was like a friend of the family, so he know all the combinations in the safe. They go way back. And they was just like putting on the show. And the police and stuff, they actually believed it, which was really, really crazy. And then we see Angela. She's getting ready to leave, and she gave Blanca her stack of paper. She was like, yeah, you're right. This is below my pay grade. And she gave her the whole thing. And she walked off like she was that bitch. And I'm like, Angela, girl, they probably still going to come after you. This probably is not over. But the story did wrap up like in a little bow. And then we get Dre over at the club because he's getting ready to like, he met with Quinn earlier, and he introduced him to Cristobal or whatever, telling Cristobal his name was Diego. And because he needed somebody that's going to run the clubs when he's not there, so he introduced Cristobal to her. So him and Cristobal, was Cristobal with him then? I know Quinn was there, and Dre walked in, and they got Diego's head like in the freezer in the kitchen at the club. And all the police and stuff just walked in. I said, oh, they done killed 2 birds with 1 stone. They done got rid of Kanan, and they done planted the head on Dre. So this got like really, really crazy. Like, it was a really good episode, even though nothing really happened, but like something did happen. But it was a really, really good episode. Let me try to see if I missed anything. If you think I missed anything, put it down in the comments. If you have any discussions or questions or anything, leave it down in the comments. You can get my opinion if I forgot to mention it in this video, because it's just, everything is just going off my dome. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and thumbs up this video. Thank you for watching me. All my social media links are down below. Everything else that I do is down below. Don't forget to subscribe and come back and see me next week. Thank you. Only 2 more episodes left. Thank you guys for watching me. Bye.